Yes, my beautiful, lovely friends, we are surrounded with little puffs of loveliness. They're everywhere. And this is also an early release for my post-market wrap-up on this Friday. What's the date again? August 18th, 2019. Yeah, I'm a little bit giddy right now, as you can probably see. Look, the fakery in this market, and I'm going to cover a lot of things with you right here, is making a lot of people very rich. And I'm not going to say that I am not benefiting from this market. It's just an incredible thing. I entered one trade today. Right after the video I did this morning, I bought just in the money calls on SPY. I rode that position till about 20 minutes ago, and I closed that with a substantial profit. This market it's like taking candy from a baby, honestly. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. And I want to cover what happened, and I want to know if you believe in coincidences. So again, sit down, buckle up, and let's cover what's happening here. So again, as I am doing this video blog, stocks will be trading for about another hour and a half. As I am doing this video blog, full-blown rally on Wall Street, Dow up 300 points. But again, that's not where you should be looking. And I want to cover this because this is tremendous. Again, sit down, take a deep breath. Ready? Blow it out slow. Now, if you were to look at the yield curve, it is somewhat normalizing right now. What does that tell us? Fear is being somewhat removed from this stock market. Now, what's removing that fear? It's so simple, it's so easy, it's so absolutely in our face, and this is how we win. This is how we play the game. You ready? So last night, just a rumor comes out that more stimulus is coming for this market, and stock futures, boom, rocket up higher. And again, look at the stock market, which is getting its cue from the debt market with the yield curve. I mean, it's still inverted, but it's slightly normalizing. How you can gauge greed and fear in this market is pretty simple. You watch the relationship between what's going on in the debt market and then how it's being reflected in the stock market. I've covered this at length 1 billion times. So that little hint last night that came out about more QE, although they were calling it stimulus, not QE, but it is QE. We all know that. They can call it whatever they want. Is enough or was enough to get this drug addict stock market in full-blown rally mode off of what's happening in the debt market, removing some of that fear. Okay? So that cash that was in the debt market is now coming out and going into equities. Now look, what does this mean? What is the bigger picture here? Again, I am a big picture guy, so let's talk about that. Now that the market got a whiff of this, more QE coming, something I've explained to you for how long now? Months upon months, maybe years, I don't know. It's ridiculous how many times I have said it. Now that the market realizes that it's a lock, not only are we going to get a series of rate cuts from the Federal Reserve, we are going to get more stimulus. They're not going to call it QE, but more money printing, cash printed out of thin air. The Federal Reserve is going to load up their balance sheet, and the market is going to be very happy. This is being priced into the market. How do we know it's being priced into the market? Again, it's so easy that if you can't see it, you're blind, and I'll cover that with you if you're not a market guy like I am. Watch the debt market. The fact that right now the debt market is normalizing substantially from the past couple of days on just that rumor tells us that more stimulus, more QE is being priced into the stock market. So what that means very clearly is if the market does not get more stimulus, and I mean more, we haven't seen anything yet with regard to quantitative easing, stimulus, whatever they're going to call it. Without more of it, this market is going to revert back to what it was doing before. That yield curve will continue to look. It's going to do it anyway. All this is a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid that will temporarily cause stocks to move higher. Now, we have a pretty big ceiling here. You know, we made 3 runs, just like I said would happen, okay? Just like I said would happen, at that high, just before the market initially dropped 700. You know, we dropped 800 on Wednesday. I want to talk about that in a second. We made 100 back yesterday, and now we're making up 300 as of now. I don't know what the market's going to do by the end of the day. But I would be stunned if it doesn't end greatly in the positive. Again, why? The hint. It's out there. It's being floated out there. I wonder who's floating out this rumor out. You think it's maybe from the White House, maybe from the Wall Street banks, maybe from the Federal Reserve? Let's cover the Federal Reserve real quick before we talk about what else happened that's pretty huge. Federal Reserve Kashkari. This guy, who I just happen to be friends with on LinkedIn, by the way. And if you don't believe that, just go check my LinkedIn friend list. I think you can see it. I know everybody. That's the truth. And I talk to everybody. That's the truth, too. Kashkari, my friend, I did hear what you said today, and I would imagine that most people out here also heard it. And what was that? That the Federal Reserve needs to cut rates because our economy needs the boost. But wait a minute, Mr. Kashkari. Are you saying that our president is wrong? Are you saying that our president has been broadcasting fake news? Because he is saying that, you know, our economy is rip-roaring strong. So there's a little bit going on there between you two guys. And, you know, it's probably a love-hate relationship. I got it. I know. Anyway. So that's where we are with regard to, look, this is a game, and you know that you're a pawn in it. The good cop, bad cop thing is going to play out exactly like the president is telling us. That is rate cuts, and we're going to get a series of them, and more stimulus. Now let's talk about this, because I want to know where you stand on coincidences. This is tremendous, and this is being widely reported. Look it up for yourself if you do not believe me. On Wednesday, when the stock market fell 800 points. President Trump called the CEOs of all the major Wall Street banks. Again, please don't believe me. Look it up for yourself. Now, let me ask you just real quick. Do you think that phone call was made to benefit you or maybe to benefit the banks? I would really, honestly, what do you think? And then let me explain this to you. So again, let's put this together. Put it together. Coincidence? 800-point drop in the Dow Wednesday. Last night, we get this rumor floated out about more stimulus, and now stocks are ripping higher. Interesting. I wish I was in on that phone call, because I would be willing to bet someone would be going to jail, or maybe not, for insider trading. This was a setup, okay? And in my opinion, and look, I could be wrong. How many of you, let's take a poll right now. How many of you believe that the president's phone call to the major Wall Street banks on Wednesday was in their interest, meaning the Wall Street banks' interest, or was it in your interest? I promise to read the comments. Where do you stand on this? I'm running a poll right now on Twitter. 14% of the people believe that phone call was in the interest of you and me. Obviously, 86% are saying it was obviously floated out there. The president made these phone calls to benefit the banks. And I don't believe in coincidences. So this rumor that's getting floated out here and this rally in the market, this is clearly in our face market manipulation to the highest order. This is insider trading. And they're all playing the game. But you know who'll get in trouble for it? Nobody. Just like last time, they get the small fry out there. How many of you believe that during the last meltdown, okay, let's take another quick poll. You all understand that not one CEO, not one upper management of any of these institutions, not one Wall Street bank got arrested. Not one. So the entire financial crisis, you want me to believe, or they want us to believe, that not one of these people were in any way responsible for what happened. They just got a couple of little flunkies at the low end. And what did we do? Well, we bailed them all out. How do you feel about that? Beautiful, isn't it? I don't believe in coincidences like this, and I believe a crime was committed. Why the president chose, again, this is widely reported, look it up for yourself, because I know for a fact they're going to be, it's fake news! Those retards. No, look it up for yourself. It's everywhere. So the president called the major Wall Street banks on Wednesday when the stock market was diving 800 points. And then all of a sudden a rumor gets floated out about more QE or stimulus, and then the stock market rips higher off of the debt market kind of stabilizing. You got to be kidding me. I'm not that stupid. I was not born yesterday. Were you? Were you? Seriously? This is so bad. The corruption, the level of corruption here is beyond anything that I think we've ever seen before in the history of the world. Not just the financial world, in anything. This is it. We've reached the pinnacle of it. And this is how every single great empire finally falls, by corruption at the highest levels of government. And we're witnessing that now. So look, here's the story real quick. And I want you to mark my words on this here, okay? I am very rarely wrong. More stimulus is now being priced into this market. More QE, whatever they're going to call it, is being priced into this market now. And without it, you can only imagine what would happen down the pike. So this is what you can expect. It's very simple. A series of rate cuts, big ones. More stimulus, like you have no idea what's coming. I mean, this is going to set a new benchmark beyond anything that we've seen before, much more than the last quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, Operation Twist. We're going to surpass that because these distortions are so monumental that without it, what would happen? The market would do its one and only job, correct to fair value. That will not be allowed to happen. This market is only allowed to do one thing and go higher. It's going to enrich those same bank CEOs that our president just talked to on Wednesday on your back. On your back. And then when this whole thing melts down, it's going to be put on your back again because they're all going to get bailed out. You know who's going to pay for it? You are. So just be ready. Let me explain this to you. We lose. We lose here. And we lose big or bigly. What did the president say? Bigly? Yeah. So be ready for it. I really think that, you know what? Maybe I'll save that for another day. All right. So I'm going to leave you all off with my usual here, people, because I don't give a damn about any of this crap, really, to a large degree. What I'm trying to do here, and it's free. It's all free. All of you. Everything on my website's free. This is free. I'm trying to make a difference in the world. I'm trying to explain things to people that most people have no idea about. They think it's too complicated. They kind of push it off, but it's really not. It's very simple to even look into the future when you're talking about this because we have a handle on what they're going to do. And yes, these dynamics do change day to day. Who would have guessed that on Wednesday that the president would be calling the Wall Street banks? Who would have guessed that last night a rumor would be floated out that we were going to get more stimulus? I mean, nobody. Nobody really would have guessed that. I did not foresee that, I'll be honest with you. Maybe my crystal ball is a little dull. But when a sitting president calls Wall Street banks on a day that stocks fall 800 points, that should raise a red flag. And the following day, we get a rumor floated out overnight. That's what they do. They do these things when the market's closed. You understand? You've seen this over and over again, or over weekends. They float these things out there. And they're not done by accident. There's no coincidences here. There is not one single thing that's going on here that is by coincidence. People, do me a huge favor, please. I'm going to ask you this. Again, look at me. I do all this stuff for free for you. I come out here, take time out of my day, because I love all of you, and I mean that. I really do. I'm a people person. I love everybody until proven otherwise. It's really true. And I am willing to give the benefit of doubt to anyone over and over and over again. And that maybe makes me stupid. Maybe, I don't know. I'd like to believe that at everyone's core, there is some goodness that exists. And maybe that goodness just needs to be brought out. Even in cases of, like, let's say the president, okay? Or even Federal Reserve President, Neil. Neil, you out there listening to me, Neil? I bet you are. I bet you are. I'm referring to Neil Kashkari, of course. Anyway, people, look, let's put this week behind us. Please share this video. Please get it out there as far and wide as you can. I want people to understand where we are, where we're going, the situation we're in. And I don't really know, honestly, if there's anything we can do about it. And with the power here that exists in the military-industrial complex, for which the president is right now, he's the guy running the show, along with the Fed, along with, Boeing, all of these other blue chip stock companies, the Wall Street banks. I mean, they're all part of it. So we cannot beat these people in any way. We don't have anyone who's willing to do what needs to be done. All they're doing is destroying whatever's left of the middle class, creating that two-tier society that's manifesting itself right before our eyeballs. And we cannot trust anything that comes out of any of these people's mouths. And I mean that. Even every single one of these Democratic candidates that are now, presidential hopefuls, don't believe a thing they're saying. Because I can promise you that once they sit behind the Resolute desk, everything changes. It does. People, again, I'm going to say it. Please share this video. Get it out there. I'm going to shut up. I love you all. People, love each other. Care about each other. Really care about each other. Understand we're all responsible for each other. And be charitable. If we embrace these things, these three things, I can promise you we'll have a better world. And it has to start with you and me. You will see me over the weekend for my Markets that Look Ahead segment. Again, I want to say it. I love all of you from my heart. I'm out of here. See ya.